Tori Wilson with the WWE, and you are watching Let's Gamespot.
Let's Gamespot.
Hello and welcome to Let's Gamespot. I'm your ringside announcer, Jeff Gerstmann. We've got a great card from top to bottom, starting off with Battlefield Vietnam and Unreal Tournament 2004, tangling in a new release's steel cage match suspended over a tank full of ravenous zombies. Tim Tracy is scheduled to arm wrestle Tor Thorson for control of the GameSpot news desk, and Alex Navarro is banned from ringside along with his stable of Colin McRae Rally 4. Tyler Weingartner squares off with Archon, and the loser must retire to GameSpot's Greatest Games Hall of Fame. Now Playing's Rich Gallup is offering $10,000 to anybody who can body slam him, and the trivia robot promises he won't throw any more people through barbershop windows. Also, we have highlights and interviews from last week's THQ event held in Times Square for its new game, WWE Day of Reckoning. I'd call this a great pay-per-view, but you won't see us showing up on your cable bill. We're free to a good home here, brother, on Let's Gamespot. Just last week, GameSpot's 10 spot named the top 10 first-person shooters, including Battlefield 1942 and Unreal Tournament. This week, stores are making room for follow-ups to both of those games, with Battlefield Vietnam and Unreal Tournament 2004. Few of you may remember Digital Illusion's Battlefield 1942, released back in 2002. Battlefield Vietnam takes that team-based multiplayer action and stuffs it into tighter maps with more rivers, more vegetation, and more 1960s rock. You see, 1942 took place during World War II and featured nice and spacious European villages for your tanks and planes and whatnot. Now, you've got to sweat it out in the jungles of Vietnam, and infantry plays a much bigger role. The two sides are broken down into 6 different outfits. The U.S. Army, Marines, and Special Forces match up with the Army of the Republic of Vietnam to take on the North Vietnamese Army and the Viet Cong. Classes range from assault to recon and scout to engineer to heavy assault. Medics? They've gone the way of Colonel Kurtz. Each class has 2 alternate weapon loadouts and customizable appearances. There are 14 different missions across 11 levels with different map types like Assault, Mission, Siege, and Conquest. There's all kinds of helicopters, jets, tanks, jeeps, artillery, boats. Hey, there's even a Vespa scooter. And there's all kinds of solid rock from the time period and a little Ride of the Valkyries for all you Apocalypse Now fans. Want more on this game? Check out GameSpot for previews, a video tour, and even a Linux package for setting up your own game server. Epic Games first released Unreal Tournament for the PC in 1999, a standalone multiplayer version of its 1998 title Unreal. After being ported to both the Dreamcast and PlayStation 2, 2002's Unreal Tournament 2003 brought the series back to the PC. Now, 18 months later, Unreal Tournament 2004 is on the scene, and it's all kinds of huge. Epic Games has thrown in around 40 brand new levels and combined them with tons of remade classic maps and imported levels from Unreal Tournament 2003, bringing UT2K4's total arenas to over 100. How can they fit all this into one game? Simple. The game is 6 discs. 6! So warm up your disc swapping arm. If you're not up to the task, the game is also available on a single special edition DVD. The game's levels range from an outer space setting to desert, the Arctic, and indoor areas, all in hustlerific high-res graphics. Also new is a vehicle-based onslaught mode where your team must capture a series of nodes, and the Assault mode that sat out of UT 2003 is returned in grand fashion. In the Mothership level of Assault mode, attackers start off dogfighting in outer space, and the defenders man turrets of a space station. The attackers battle their way onto the space station, where the game changes to a traditional first-person shooter. Mix in tons of fast-paced gameplay and insanely powerful weapons, let it simmer at the aforementioned gorgeous level of graphics, and you should have a pretty solid game. Look to the site for demos, movies, and a full review. You may be saying, well, that's all and good if I like shooting things on my computer, but what if I like to punch genetic super freaks or milk cows on my consoles? Well, also new this week are Breakdown for the Xbox and Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life for the GameCube. They'll fulfill your punching and farming quotas respectively. Hey, speaking of quotas, Tim Tracy, where my news at?
Thanks, Jeff. Electronic Arts has announced that as of September 22nd, the massively multiplayer game Earth and Beyond will go offline permanently. In operation for just over 2 years, EA stated that the decision was made so that they can focus their resources on upcoming games. The date and place have been set for this year's QuakeCon, which will take place August 12th through the 15th at the Gaylord Texan Resort and Convention Center in Grapevine, Texas. This year's affair boasts 4 full days of competition, workshops, demonstrations, and contests. Registration for the free event opens at QuakeCon.org on April 14th. Finally this week, Visual Concepts has confirmed that ESPN Major League Baseball has been pushed from its original release date of March 23rd to April 14th. A Visual Concept representative was quoted as saying, "In an effort to release the best quality product possible, we felt it necessary to push the title back a couple weeks." Now filling in for Tor Thorson is Alex Navarro with Rumor Control. What up, Alex?
Not too much. Last week on Rumor Control, Gamespot News covered all kinds of system nonsense. None more frightening than whether or not Microsoft had been scanning the hard drives of Xbox Live users in search of modifications. Heard first on everyone's favorite game news site, Sponge.com, an official Microsoft spokesperson responded by saying, "One of the ways Microsoft protects its intellectual property, in this case the Xbox, is through the use of innovative technical solutions." Could somebody call Fox Mulder? That sounds like Big Brother conspiracy talk to me. Seriously, though, the spokesperson went on to use phrases like protecting publishers' rights and ensuring the use of genuine hardware. So this rumor gets the big old not bogus. Back to you, Tim.
Thanks, Alex. For more headlines, check out news.gamespot.com. For Alex Navarro, I'm Tim Tracy. Back to you, Jeff.
Thanks, Tim. Last week we reviewed Codemasters' latest installment in its critically acclaimed rally racing franchise, Colin McRae Rally 4. Speaking of racing, good hustle, Alex. Now, what's this I hear about my main man Colin McRae being budget?
I don't know what that's all about, but yeah, Colin McRae 4 is totally a $20 game.
So how does Colin McRae Rally 4 differ from Colin McRae Rally 3?
It doesn't differ too heavily. The gameplay tweaks they've made this year are mostly just to enhance the realism of the driving. You slide a little bit more, the handling is definitely more realistic. They've given you more ways to fine-tune your car, to adjust to different types of terrain. But it's still all really user-friendly, and you don't have to be a rally racing nut to understand how to play the game.
So we know about the cars and tracks, but how does the game play? Is it accessible to the common man? Is it for rally racing hardcore freaks? What's the deal?
Didn't I already answer that?
Did you?
Are you listening? I'm not listening. Are you listening to me?
You didn't say that.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
I said, yeah, it's accessible to the people. You don't have to be a rally nut.
No, you said that for the cars. That was not.
No, I said the gameplay. That was the gameplay.
So what score did you give the game?
I gave it an 8.8.
Why?
Because 2 8s are better than 1.
Is the game accessible to the common man, or is it for hardcore rally nuts?
I'm pretty sure I answered that already, but yes, it's accessible to the common man, and it's for rally nuts.
So if you were a rally nut, but not a hardcore rally nut, you'd still... I'm not sure I follow you. Is the common man going to get something out of this game?
The common man is going to love Colin McRae Rally 4.
So, I'm the common man.
Right.
Let's say, for example, that I'm the common man.
Uh-huh.
I'm Joe Sixpack.
What's up, Joe Sixpack? How you doing?
Okay, I'm doing pretty good.
Right on.
Am I going to get anything out of this game?
Yeah, no, you're going to get all kinds of stuff out of this game. Do you like cars?
I love cars.
Do you like driving cars?
I love driving cars.
Then you are going to love Colin McRae Rally 4.
But what about, the average everyday guy?
Well, especially for you. If you're the average everyday guy.
Well, let's say I wasn't the average everyday guy.
Okay.
Let's say that I'm into foreign films and that sort of stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of out there.
So, you watch Amelie a bunch of times. You have
Right.
a DVD.
I watch a lot of Amelie. I don't drink domestic beers.
Okay.
Am I going to get something out of this game?
Are you vegan too? Because that's important to know.
Well, I'm vegetarian, leaning
Okay.
towards vegan.
Okay.
Let's say.
Then you will still love Colin McRae Rally 4.
Okay. So
it is a game for you.
Is it a game for everyone?
It is a game for everyone. It's even rated E for everyone.
So even the common man?
Even the common man.
It's insane.
I know, dude.
Thanks, Alex.
No problem.
Now GameSpot Live's Tyler Weingartner is going to take you back to 1983 with this week's greatest game of all time, Free Fall's Archon.
You might all think that I'm a nerd for saying so, but Archon is a truly great game. One of the earliest action strategy titles to come to gamers, Archon arrived in 1983 for systems like the Commodore 64, Apple II, Atari 800, IBM PC, and later ported to the NES. In the game, you took control of one of 2 opposing sides on a chess-like board. Each piece has its own movement type and distance, but where they really differed was in combat. Yes, combat. Unlike chess, in Archon, if you wanted to claim a square that was occupied by the other side's forces, you had to fight for it. Both pieces would be dropped into a simple arena, and you'd duke it out for supremacy of the board. Archon's simple approach to strategy and satisfying action was always a joy to behold. I became so addicted to the game that I played it all the time that I could. Eventually I saw school get in the way of this, so I saw the only solution to this was to write a straight-faced letter to my principal, extolling its virtues and educational worth, hoping to have it available in our computer labs. I still have the note right here, so check it out.
So earlier this week, it was my dad's birthday. When I called him, he told me that there was a more than 50-degree swing in temperatures between here and Massachusetts. And you know what? It got me thinking.
I kind of want to go skiing. All right, wait. What if it snowed in San Francisco?
Seriously though, Gamespot Live has some great stuff now playing for you. If you like multiplayer PC shooting sessions, there's a nice trailer for the upcoming Soldier Secret Wars, where all kinds of stuff flows up in a modern day setting. If the 60s are more your thing, Andrew Park can take you on a video tour of Battlefield Vietnam, which gets bonus points from me for including some credence. You've got to look back at the early versions of Halo with DVD-style commentary from the crew at Bungie, a first look at Sly 2, Band of Thieves, and a whole mess of movies from 7 Samurai 20XX. Hey, did you know that Bruce Willis's Last Man Standing is a remake of Akira Kurosawa's Yojimbo? And so was Clint Eastwood's A Fistful of Dollars? Now that's how you interpret a samurai film. And speaking of samurai, we got to hang out with all kinds of WWE superstars down in Times Square, but I'll let Jeff tell you about that. And hey, cabbie, I know you can't charge me 20 bucks extra to go to Newark. I paid because I wanted out of your rancid cab. 7Y35, I got your number. What? Jeff?
Last week, GameSpot sent a team to New York City to check out THQ and Yuke's newest wrestling game for the GameCube, WWE Day of Reckoning. Since it was WrestleMania weekend, there was an event featuring 16 WWE superstars squaring off in a single elimination tournament with last year's PlayStation 2 title, WWE SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. Participants in the tournament included Kane, Rey Mysterio, Christian, Trish Stratus, Tori Wilson, and the new U.S. champion, John Cena.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy John Cena from the WWE. You turn into GameSpot Live. They always keep it real. They always represent. They got all the facts on the crazy games, cheat codes, whatever. And you heard it here first.
The next day, we got our hands on a demo of WWE Day of Reckoning, which featured 2 matches. Chris Benoit versus Triple H, and a bra and panties match between Trish and Stacy Keibler. After beating down the virtual The Game time and time again, we talked to some of the developers from THQ working on the actual video game.
I think one of the first things that you're going to notice is that you'll see that there's a huge graphical upgrade. When you insert the game and you compare it to last year, you're going to be really impressed with all the new camera angles, the dynamic look that we have, basically trying to capture the WWE feel.
One of the great things that video games offer us is the ability to put in cameras wherever we want. So in reality, you can only locate cameras in fixed places, whereas in the game we can use any camera angles that we want.
Day of Reckoning is really headed towards a unique and compelling single-player mode. I think that's our #1 feature this year. We really want to bring out the building up a character, bring them up from the ground up.
We wanted to kind of go back to the roots of Nintendo wrestling with a story mode that we've called School of Hard Knocks. Basically, you're going to take a created superstar and work his way up through the minor leagues of professional sports entertainment.
Focus in that area is not so much on your competition as it is on developing yourself. And this happens over the course of a while. You don't just develop yourself, then go into matches.
What's the good word, nerds? Welcome to my crib. Let's GameSpot is finally caving to my demands, and I now have a roof over my head. And speaking of the show, why am I getting so many emails that call it GameSpotting Live, or GameSpot Live, or Live GameSpotting? I cruise the forums, and my millions of nerd fans can't even get the show's name right. Can you not read? Are the title graphics too small for your weak eyesight? Perhaps I should put it in a language you understand. Question number 1, what is the name of this show? Question number 2, name 2 military groups found in Battlefield Vietnam. Question number 3, how many discs must a game have before its developer is considered insane? Question number 4, which of GameSpot's WWE Superstar interviews is your favorite? Question number 5, seriously, what is the name of this show? Get that last one wrong and I will totally flip out and laser beam the crap out of everything in sight. Well, everything in sight beyond this room. Even groupies don't like a mess. Just ask your mother. She is welcome.
Send your answers and mailing address to triviarobot@gamespot.com and you can win some solid loot, like posters, t-shirts, bags, official GameSpot napkins in assorted states of use. That's all eBayable. But would you want to sell something you won through superior short-term memory and basic stenography skills? Hey, don't answer that. Instead, sit at your computer and wait until next week for another episode of your favorite show on gaming. You can fill that time by checking our site for the latest news, reviews, previews, cheats, downloads, and movies from the carpal tunnel of gaming. Until next week, I'm Jeff Gerstmann, and pants are for chumps. Nice pants, chump. To 1983 with this week's greatest game of all time, Free Fall's Archon.
Please tell me you're leaving that in somewhere.